How miserable would it be?
I've often thought of, like, that's where we should have our office and just
No.
constantly have, like, you know, a marching band of kids in their underwear, like the movie, The Wolf of Wall Street. Just have them, like, there's just constant chaos happening at the office here, and all the other advisors are like, what is going on there?
It's like 5 or 6 different advisors in there, right?
Yeah, and they never work either. They're if you look at the office hours of the one company, it's like 2 to 5 Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's the same company that had the office space in the other one. I won't say the name, but
Okay.
when we looked over in the other town, that's the same. They have 2 offices. Well, they have like 4 offices.
I just noticed super nice cars.
Nice cars too. Yeah. Hey, welcome to Closing Beat, everybody. How we doing today? Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a good day out there. Welcome, Copacetic, Ricardo, Grateful, Mr. Bishop, Kyle Lane. Hello, everybody. How we doing? We got Lucky Louie here. Oh, and by the way, best candy ever. We get no free sponsors here. That's why we have no sponsors. Nobody wants to pay us. This is phenomenal, by the way. I mean, I got another bag just sitting here. Cody, you want one? I got. Well, just one. Cody had one. Look, he had one. Right there. Even on this, the day of your birthday, you will not join me with the. All right. Hey, anyways, welcome. Hope you're having a good day here today. Tonight we've got Wine and Wealth coming up, so grab your bottle of wine. We will be hanging out tonight talking about Bitcoin, some changes in Nest Egg, and then taking questions and all, hanging out and just seeing what I can do to help. Every Thursday we do that for clients. It's in our portal. It's a private little class there, and we just kind of go over everything there. We're sneakily kind of getting ready for something that we're going to be offering that no other advisor has ever even attempted to offer to their clients in at least publicly. And so we'll be getting that going there. That's enough of that. Let's talk about the stock market today. It's higher, right? This is just what we keep seeing. This is the market moving higher. No real respect for a healthy pullback there. We've got the Biden, right? Came out with was going to be $3.5 trillion. Now we're down to $1.75 trillion. That sort of agenda of what they want to do is up for grabs now to talk about. And it seems like they have less Democrats interested in this bill than they did in the $3.5 trillion deal. So probably a little bit of back and forth still to go there. Some of the things in that bill that have been proposed there, the 15% minimum corporate tax rate, which remember passes on to us. That is, corporations don't pay taxes. We pay taxes. So that's how that goes there. The 1% surcharge on stock buybacks, that kind of explains why there's so much in stock buybacks coming up there that we've been seeing lately there. And the $10,000 limit for the IRS to be able to see your bank transactions, they're reworking that, dropping the $10,000. They're going to talk about, hey, if you make over $400,000 a year, we then get access to your bank account. Still a little bit tough argument there, but we'll see what happens. As far as the markets go today, here's the S&P. Just gives up first place year to date. Although it was a good day for the S&P, no problem there. It was thanks to a lot of stocks with individual earnings. It's just where we're at. Right? We're in the thick of earnings season. So you got like Teradyne, big move, breaks a downtrend, earnings related there. Well, of course, Ford is another one there. So big move on Ford. It's all earnings related. Albemarle, I think, was the same thing. No, that was just a night. Look at this Albemarle here, actually. So consolidation at highs. They do have earnings coming up, but that's not bad looking there. You got Merck in the news as well. We'll cover some of that stuff, but a lot of it is just due to individual stock names there in the S&P. MasterCard moving a little bit lower as well. They also said that travel-related spending is up, by the way. So good stuff for the same as Visa the other day. Cross-border transactions up 52%. You got, no. Type it straight, man. Tesla. Hitting a little bit higher here as well on the Build Back Better plan. I find more fascinating news the fact that if you look at Nancy Pelosi, her calls, or her husband's calls, or whatever you want to say, she's now up just over $450,000 on that trade. Yep, no secret. Well, I mean, it's maybe she wanted it to be a secret, but holy cow, that's not a bad profit. It's been less than a year there for her. Facebook, well, actually, Facebook's going to be called Meta now. They've changed their name. The ticker symbol is going to change to MVRS. So up here in the left, starting December 1st, that's what you'll use to look up Facebook, and we'll all just refer to it as Meta there. So I think now you have to say it's not FANG stocks, it it's Mang stocks. I think we're going to have to change that there. So that's that. Also, their earnings report coming up here starting with the next quarter. It's going to be a lot like Alphabet. They're going to break out how they do their reporting. They're not going to just say, Facebook, we made this much money. They're going to say our family of apps, that'll be a separate division that they report, and our reality labs are going to be separate. So how Alphabet reports like search, they report ads, they report other bets, things like that. This is going to be broken into two categories there. And well, so that's basically what I had to share with you with the S&P today. Every sector was higher today, by the way. Even some of the industries that stood out today. Home builders up 2% on the day. Retail, it's not really an exciting area of the market, but you got them a little bit higher. Transports, I want to point out as well. Nice little move going on there, but everything was basically positive on the day. If we go over to the Dow, the Dow moves into last place, right? That's because the Russell today was the best performing index there. So working its way out of this trend here. You're seeing the action. You're seeing the volume pick up as we talked about. And it was all small cap growth today was the reason that you see the Russell wake up. And that moves the Dow, even though it's not bad, into last place for year to date there. If we look at some of the stocks inside of the Dow, you've got Merck. Come to find out, their COVID pill, if they get this thing going, next year, they expect to make $7 billion or do $7 billion in sales on the COVID pill. Huh? Well, that's something. Apple. Well, Apple was higher before earnings. If I look after hour, it's actually I didn't catch the earnings for them. Down about 550. So Apple's currently trading at 146.93-ish, right in here. Small decline on their earnings report there. And if we go over to the NASDAQ, and just kind of focus on those tech stocks for a second. Well, the NASDAQ's up 10 of the last 12 days, first of all. It takes back first place year to date. And so it's good to see if you're an Amazon fan there. I mean, an Apple, NASDAQ fan. I'm already moving on in my head, man. Amazon, they're in the news there. They missed on earnings, missed on revenue there, guided that their profit could actually be $0 for the next quarter, which is important because that's the holiday season, right? We wanted to hear good things there. Thankfully, Amazon Web Services saved things. I believe it was up 39%. Doesn't matter. The stock's down $3,300 or so. This is where it's currently trading after hours. So a bit of a reversal there for Amazon. And remember, Amazon's actually lagging behind. So it's an underperformer, not only in the general market, but in FANG stocks as well. It is the underperformer, and that's just because they're in spending mode. It's going to be like that for a while. So you want to buy dips in Amazon. You don't want to just randomly buy. You want to buy discounts there. Let it fall. Let it have these bad days like this because they're currently in spending mode, spending on labor, of course, hiring an unbelievable amount of people, hundreds of thousands of people, and they're spending on equipment and all of their sort of expanding out their logistics process. So that's the case. And I believe they bought a few more airplanes as well. I'm pretty confident they did, but that's old news. So that's what's going on in the NASDAQ and Amazon. Real quick, let's look through here. You got Regeneron, 6% higher on the day. Regeneron Pharmaceuticals and a lot of the biotech stocks. I don't like to look at biotechs as much, so I don't normally point those things out. eBay is going to be earnings related. That's your big move there. O'Reilly Auto Parts, same thing. Actually, not a bad earnings report, just a little bit off. Match.com pulling back inside of this range here. And AMD, slight down day. It's extended. No worries there. Going back to the Dow real quick. If you're playing Guess the Dow, what's your guess? Because this is kind of interesting how we're starting to trade back and forth. Cody's got our update.
Actually, a lot of similar names that we had on Monday and Tuesday. Your top 5 for today are Chun, Aldo, Ria, Chris, and Peter. Those are your top 5. And thank you for the birthday wishes in the chats and in the comments on that video earlier. I appreciate it.
How old are you?
27.
27. Cody.
I'm not old yet. I saw someone say Cody is old now.
Hey, he's got all his hair. See that?
Yeah, still got all my hair. Doing better than you.
Thick head of hair. Yeah.
I am worried. You do have me worried. That bald spot, I keep an eye on it every day.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Don't worry about it. It starts with the thinning. Our family does thinning hair. Nobody's been bald voluntarily. Right?
I'll keep that in mind. I'll take care of it.
You'll be all right. All right. Thank you for the well wishes there for the birthday. All right. Let's move on. Hey, I was going to point out gold. Gold back above 1,800 there. The dollar weakening just a little bit. I don't know. I don't follow it much. Looks like it's trying to make its way out of the downtrend here. More momentum and support on dips than we've seen in the past. I'll just say it that way. So I don't know much else there. I just, you start putting your eye on those things, notice that something's waking up. It's a little bit different. Speaking of waking up, I would be Bitcoin, right? We're going to talk about Bitcoin here tonight in our Wine and Wealth class in a little bit more detail. But here you got Bitcoin hovering right around the 60,000 mark. And we're starting to put together some thoughts wrapped around why you might like it, why you wouldn't like it, how to include it, what kind of volatility to expect. Really starting to expand on this a little bit. And I'm going to give you a little taste here tonight with this. Here's a fun way to look at this. So we're going to compare performance and volatility. So first we're looking at the performance, and we did this in 3 ways. We said, number one, in the purple line, let's pretend you're an S&P 500 index fund trader through thick and thin. You're not out there stock trading. You're not interested in anything else. Your returns will be about 195% looking back to 2013. We did this because of the data that we're about to show. That's why we chose 2013. You now have, we use the GBTC, has the most data for us to use. And so we said, what happens if you're 99% S&P and 1% the Bitcoin Trust, the GBTC? Well, you're quite an improvement on your returns. And naturally, crypto or Bitcoin's done well, so no problems there. You can see it there, slightly better in performance, 287% versus 195, just in case you couldn't see it. What if you went 95-5? We're not saying like swing for the fences. We're saying 95% traditional old school method, 5% GBTC. Look at the difference in returns, 640%. No doubt you see a higher return there. You could also use the BITO, B-I-T-O. You could use Bitcoin futures. You could use the pure play Bitcoin. However, that's not available in the traditional sense of using an IRA, so it have to be a brokerage account or something. But look at the volatility. When I put this together, I thought, oh, well, that's impressive, but that's only 5% of your portfolio. You have that amount of change in your returns, but it certainly seems a little bit volatile here. So what we did is we took it a step further and said, well, let's see. Like the person obviously that chooses to do something like 99.1, 95.5, they're going to have to be willing to accept more volatility, and that's no secret. Bitcoin's a new asset class. Notice I use those words. And it's very typical for it to be more volatile, just like an IPO. It's going to be more volatile. It's new. It's unknown a little bit. And so that's what you have. Looking at volatility, we turned this around and said, we want to see the percent decline off of every single high. So you see this flat line at 0%, right? We're going to assume that if it's at a high, we mark that as 0. Anytime it falls from a high, we measure the drop from the recent high to whatever the low ends up being. Well, we put the same portfolios together. Straight S&P, your biggest drawdown is like here. This is the SPY. Biggest drawdown would have been the COVID decline there, 33%, 36%. And okay, not too bad, right? So you got a 36% max drawdown in exchange for 195% or traditional, average returns in the market. And then it's okay, back to 2013, the 99.1, you notice is a little more volatile in here. You had quite significant declines. This is related to Bitcoin because notice, this is interesting. During the COVID decline, which is seen as, you would think of that as in really, really rough times, how would my portfolio handle itself? You actually felt less than the market because Bitcoin held itself up. People thought, well, maybe I'll go use that as a hedge. And so you actually only fell about 31%. So, okay, there's something there. But when you start going more than 1% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, and I'm using the Bitcoin Trust here, look at the volatility of 5%, just 5% in your portfolio. Biggest drawdown pushing 70% with just 5%. That's right here, right? Biggest draw, and you didn't make it back to highs, by the way. Remember that. So look what you're seeing here. You fell from highs in 2018. You drew down with the 2018 drop, which was October, November, December, where the market fell 20%. You got that. You never made it back to highs in your portfolio, whereas the stock market did, right? The true thing there, so something to consider. And you had to suffer this volatility for years until you finally made it back to highs, right? So way more volatility there. The moral of this part of the story is just to say, if you're going to include that in your portfolio, you know to expect some volatility, but now you know about how wild it can get given some of the wild moves that we saw in late 2018, as well as the COVID decline there. So I just thought it was a fun way to show you something real quick and let you decide for yourself what you'd like to do there. I hope you enjoyed. New highs and lows for the day. We got 33 and 4, right? The new lows are all the same names that have been there. LKQ, one of the new highs. This was pointed out the other day on the breakout. Just continues to be nice and strong. You like that. Cincinnati Financial. A little breakout going on here. So nice strong move, nice strong volume in the financials. You know you've got those financials and regional banks on your side. You've got Chubb also moving to new highs. I like the reversal from yesterday. You have a big gap up that showed some weakness back to the downside. Still a positive day, but today it erases all of that with no concern at all. So I like that. You got United Rentals. This is just had earnings actually, so a good look at rentals for the construction market. This is the biggest player in that space, so it's kind of a barometer for the construction market. One of them anyways. Up 5.6% on the day, and I like how it reversed the last 3 days, all in one day. Very nice. You like to see that if you're an investor in that stock. And Avalon Bay. I just thought I'd point out again, this was that breakout from the other day. It continues. The momentum is there. It's very solid. Volume very solid and strong. Thought you might be interested in that. Yep. Moving on to, is it candy time yet? Stocks in the news. Ta-da. You got Ford beat on earnings, beat on revenue, and raised their guidance going forward there. They beat by 21% on earnings, and they're going to put their dividend back in the fourth quarter. So if you're looking at Ford, you say, all right, I like what you guys are doing here. I like the turnaround. Now I want a little dividend. You're going to get it there. And Ford was one of the only companies, I think the only company at this point, to not try to blame semiconductors for anything. There's a bit of a corporate culture there where they don't assign blame. If you work for them or you have no family that works there, there's a phrase that Henry Ford came up with that says, don't find fault, find remedy. Anyone can complain. And so they reiterated that semiconductor issues had markedly improved, although still a struggle. They had improved and they're finding every advantage that they can use for that. I think that was pretty cool, man. It's putting a positive spin on it on an otherwise very positive earnings report there. I mentioned United Rentals just a minute ago. It was a mixed report overall. Free cash flow is going to take a hit because they plan to spend for increased demand. So that's good news there. That's not bad news. Free cash flow is going to drop by about 9% because they think that they should be expanding, and they're probably right. All right, here we go. That's the wrong symbol, man. WSP. What's going on here? That's the wrong ticker symbol. Let's move on to Hertz. Oh, which is actually HTZZ. Yeah, I always forget that. Also, Hertz, obviously the news, they're buying 100,000 Teslas. 50,000 of those Teslas will be able to be rented if you're a Uber driver. Well, also, I thought this was really smart. Hertz is really trying to prove that they're going to be a different company here. They are going to take their older cars, which are not really old, but as those older cars need to be recycled, sold off, and so they could buy new ones, they usually send them to an auction. They've decided we're no longer going to do that. We're going to go direct to consumers through Carvana, right? Very interesting there. Carvana hasn't really moved on that news, but now Carvana gets first pick. So when Hertz says we're done with the cars, Carvana gets them, they get to sell them to the general public. It means that ultimately you might end up with a slightly better deal. Carvana makes a little bit more profit than they normally would if they had to go to the auction to buy the cars there. So pretty cool. One other one here, Black & Decker. Stanley Black & Decker is now the name, but Black & Decker, the tool manufacturer there. Stock was just a little bit lower on the day. The earnings were whatever, right? They reported a little bit better than expected, lowered guidance, revenues came in as expected. It was just kind of a mixed earnings report. But I found it interesting listening to the conference call. I forget who said it, the COO stepping down actually, one of the C guys. He said, we now have about $1 billion just chilling in transit, right? Making its way to us in our various warehouses. It's just floating around out there and we can't get to it. It is now topping $1 billion. That's pretty freaking impressive, man, with what's going out there, with what's going on out there. Hertz is big in the green space. Yep, they're looking for their green. They would say in the industry, you say you're looking for your green card because right now what's happened. I don't know if that's a problem to say that or whatever, but that's what they say. But what every company's trying to do is show their environmental and social governance plan so that they can be ranked as an environmentally conscious company and attract dollars from mutual funds. So it's a bit of a game that's being played out there at the moment. So we'll see. I'll let the stream catch up. We'll take some questions there. And in the meantime, also, Cody, did you know you celebrate the same birthday as Julia Roberts?
No way.
Yeah, Julia Roberts. I hear she's a bit of a bear, like a mean person. Restaurants and stuff. Oh, you didn't even know who Julia Roberts was? Pretty Woman?
Yeah.
Pretty Woman.
I haven't seen Pretty Woman, but
Oh, Pretty Woman's a good movie. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Ocean's 11. Well, that's a good movie too, Ocean's 11. But yeah, happy birthday, Julia Roberts. And for those of you that live in Iowa, apparently in Iowa, you guys, I don't know what you're doing. You guys have now been ranked by Lending Tree as the worst drivers in America. You went from being 23rd in terms of being the worst drivers to officially the worst. You ranked the highest in every single category in 2021. Number of accidents, number of DUIs, fifth highest number of speeding tickets. North Dakota got first place on that one. And the number of citations that you got. What are you doing? What's going on, man? People in Iowa. I blame my grandmother on that one. Back in the day, she used to, when it was icy and snowy outside, she would intentionally like go down a hill and then slam on the brake and spin it around and stuff. She was a bit of a reckless person, but yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Jeez. Sioux City, Iowa. If you're ever in Sioux City, Iowa, back in the day, my grandmother would have been one to look out for. And she intentionally would drive that way just because I was from Florida. She's like, look, it's ice. And she would spin around. Oh, man. Did I save Hertz from bankruptcy? No, I did not. I wish I would have been in a part of that. That was one of the best bankruptcy recoveries ever in terms of how the shareholders were handled and still are being handled. Yep. Giovanni, still going with your pins? Oh, LVS, that was the other one you talked about there. So a little bit of a stall here on pins. I wouldn't add more. Don't let these days go. If you're a research member or one of our clients, there's a candlesticks class that we did. This is a great example. What happened today is an indecision day. Anytime you are looking at a stock, and you maybe like to look at charts too, whatever. If you see a day like this, it means a day where you do nothing. No decision can be made on that day, no matter where it's at. That is the easiest lesson I can teach you there for that one. Oh, but Snap was the other one you were talking about. All right, you got a little reversal there. It's definitely overbought. What I want to see in Snap is hopefully you get a little bit of a rally and that next sell-off. How much pressure is in that next sell-off? If there's not a lot, and we'll keep talking about it, that's where you would add the rest of your position. Yep. Oh, man. You got the Tesla 1070 long puts for February. Okay. Break even's 950. How do you like your chances? In the short term, I really do. Yeah. I very, very extended here. Yeah, I think you're fine for the short term. You've obviously got plenty of time on that as well. You'll get your pullback. Yeah. I love it. DIYer, thanks for the compliment there. Appreciate that. Everybody has an ESG rating. One of the software that we use, they have 2,000 analysts that are specifically focused on ESG ratings. Yep. It's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Thoughts on DWAC? Well, I consider that an IPO, so it's fun to watch. I mean, I like the news. I like seeing people get excited and move all around and chase stuff and all that. It's fine, but I consider it an IPO, so for me, I wouldn't have an opinion on it. I wouldn't make any decisions on it because there's just not enough history. But a wild one. Yeah. That's crazy. Any thoughts about buying the dips on Boeing? Ooh, Boeing is a tough one, right? Do you think this is a dip here? You get the feeling. I could be wrong, but if I'm an investor looking to put new dollars in, I don't need to be the one that guesses if this bottom right here holds. Because if it doesn't hold, you're down here, 191, right? And that's attractive to me. So I don't know. I'll just be honest with you. You ask yourself, is it smart to put money here to work or not? It's a trade. I couldn't do it. I could not do it there. Giovanni bought the December 3rd 800 put. No. I disagree with that one. You never buy a put that's out of the money. You bought right here. That's way out of the money. Always buy an at the money put or at the money call. Anytime you're going to be long on calls, you are just playing for direction. Now, if you were going to buy out of the money on any stock, I mean, that's, Apple, Netflix, things like that. I get it. Tesla, I understand. But nope, you've greatly put the odds against you there. But I still think it'll pull back, so not too bad there. What else? Oh, we got our class coming up here tonight, so I'm going to get ready for that. I will thank you guys for joining us, hanging out with us. I got just looking forward. Ooh, green one. Oh, the candy here. I will see you guys later if you're one of our clients there. Have a great rest of your day and evening, and thanks for hanging out with us.